Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just started to edit the video that you're about to watch and realized that I never even said hello. I just jumped right into it, probably because I was filming other videos that same day. I'm pretty sure I did a portion of a what's for dinner that same day. So I probably had already done the hello, welcome, and just didn't think to also do it again for this video. So anyway, I am about to share with you 3 baked good items that are toddler friendly. We made them specifically so my kids could have something to eat for breakfast that I didn't have to like stand in the kitchen and make, because they are ready to eat the second their eyes pop open. And sometimes even putting a pre-made pancake in the toaster is just too long for them to waste. I do like to occasionally make some baked goods that are hopefully kind of breakfasty and a little on the healthier side, so that the boys have something to eat right away when they're waking up. So the first recipe is going to be cinnamon donuts. I think that's what they are. They're like, or a cinnamon donut muffin. And it's supposed to be like a cinnamon sugar muffin, and I definitely went heavier on the cinnamon because my kids really like it. The second recipe will be a chocolate chip banana bread, and then the third one is a chocolate donut recipe. And I did add a little something to each recipe to make it slightly healthier, have some extra benefits other than just a sugary pancake. I personally feel like breakfast is the hardest meal to get good nutrition into my kids, because they don't eat eggs, and like they refuse to eat any kind of egg, and they don't eat, Noah will sometimes eat sausage, but for the most part they also don't want to eat meat at breakfast. So we definitely struggle in the breakfast nutrition area. So when I make these baked goods, 1, I know what ingredients are going into it, and 2, I can add a little something to hopefully help just a little bit. I will stop rambling now and go ahead and get into the video. Don't forget to subscribe before we get started. Thank you for watching. We'll link all of these recipes down below so that if you want to make any of them, you have the recipes. For this first one, for the muffins, butter and sugar in the mixer, and then adding in milk and vanilla, and I always measure vanilla with my heart, and then cinnamon. And then I also had dehydrated some carrots a while ago and made them into a powder, and I like to add them to different baked goods like this, especially cinnamon, because the color doesn't show very well and my kids have no idea that there are carrots. So once everything is mixed together, and again the actual ingredients will be listed, or the recipe will be down below, but just scraping the sides of the bowl and making sure that everything is mixed together, and then putting it in muffin tins. I did use mini muffins. You could certainly make this into larger muffins, and I was struggling with spraying this pan, like where I needed to spray it. I don't know what my deal was. It also did not make all, this is 24. It did not make all 24, but that's okay. My kids did eat them all, but they were just really interested in the topping, and I didn't eat any of them, but I did feel like these were a pretty dry muffin. So if I made this same recipe again, I would definitely add in some Greek yogurt. 1, that would boost the protein, and 2, I think it would just like help it not be so dry. And then bake those, pull them out when they are no longer, when you can put a toothpick in them and they come out clean. And then this is just some melted butter and then some cinnamon sugar in the back. Again, we go heavy on the cinnamon and lighter on the sugar, so it did get pretty dark there after the butter was on there, and that's the part that my kids like the most. But if you wanted it more of like a sugar topping, you could definitely go heavier on the sugar and lighter on the cinnamon, just so there's a little, flavor with your sugar. This is what they look like. Moving on to the chocolate chip banana bread, I think I choose a different recipe almost every time I make banana bread.
But you just want to start out by creaming together your butter and sugar, and then adding in some eggs, some baking soda, some salt, vanilla. Again, measure vanilla with your heart. Bananas. It says to like mash up the bananas beforehand. I kind of do, but I mean, it's going to get mashed up with the mixer. And then this recipe did call for Greek yogurt, so I put some plain Greek yogurt in there. And then I also added 2 scoops of kids' vanilla protein powder. And I think it's like 10 or 20 grams of protein per scoop. It's the Clean Simple Eats brand, to just add some protein powder, and I thought that was a good amount to make it not have that like chalky protein taste. So anyway, moving on to put it in a pan. This is actually a long loaf pan. I think if you had the short ones, you would want to break this up into 2 different pans, because this was perfect with the one long pan.
I just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your eyes and tell you that I want you.
And when I flipped this over here, I was a little concerned about the bottom. It looked burnt, and I was like, oh man, I overcooked it. It did not taste burnt at all. It was actually so good. I don't always eat the banana bread I make, but this time I think I had like 2 pieces. My kids gobble this up. They love it so much.
Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down, yeah, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution.
Hello, today I'm also filming a what's for dinner. I'm making bread, and I'm gonna have my oven on, and we are out of the banana bread that I made a few days ago now. So I'm going to make some chocolate donuts. What are they actually called? Hold on. All I wrote down is chocolate donuts. I think they're like a chocolate glazed donut. My battery's about to die, so I should probably just switch that out before I do anything. Have a new battery. Okay, chocolate donut with a glaze, and I am gonna add sprinkles because my kids go cuckoo for sprinkles. This seems pretty easy. I do have donut molds. If you don't have them though, I saw that you can use a muffin tin and use tin foil to make like the whole part that goes in the middle. I'm gonna use a hand mixer because my big stand mixer is dirty from making bread. If you don't have a hand mixer, use a stand mixer. If you don't have either, the recipe actually just gives instructions for how to mix it up without either of those. So let's go ahead and make donuts.
Okay, so for this recipe, it does say to mix the dry, and normally I don't do that, but it said to whisk it together, and usually that's because it wants like a smoother batter, and if you don't use just a whisk to mix it together to break up those bigger pieces, you can get chunks. So I did do the dry ingredients and then also the wet ingredients and adding the dry to the wet. And this recipe did call for Greek yogurt as well, so that helped with a little healthier protein boost. I don't like donuts, especially chocolate donuts, so I did not try these, but my kids, my husband, and my mom all said that they were good. So then I have these like silicone donut molds, and I do spray them because one time I didn't, and although they're silicone, it's still stuck. And then it said use a piping bag, and so I have this Ziploc bag that it was just a mess. It was a disaster to get everything in there. And here's a little foreshadowing. I should have probably just used a spoon and not tried to mess with the Ziploc bag as a piping bag.
Okay, so I'm struggling because the bag was folded over when I cut it, and I didn't realize that, so it left a very big hole instead of a small one. So I'm having a hard time piping this into the donut mold. I'm gonna have to take a spoon and fix these.
So here I go, just trying to squeeze the rest out of the bag, and then I'll go ahead and use a spoon to scoop some over and fill in, like take extra off of there.
If these don't turn out, I have nobody to blame but myself.
It was quite the mess, but they ended up turning out okay.
I bet you think that I should calm down, and that I'm overthinking everything about you, and that we're good the way we are. But I don't know that much about you. What things you like and what you don't, it's not you for the first time. You know we should work it out. You know we should.
For the glaze, you just mix chocolate chips, some heavy whipping cream, and butter and melt it together and dip them in there. And I decided to add some sprinkles because my kids really like sprinkles, and these were made before 4th of July, so I did a few chocolate sprinkles and some 4th of July sprinkles. But that is all that I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Again, recipes will be linked down in the description box if you're interested in giving any of these a try, since I didn't really give measurements during the video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Before I'm too invested.